Today I learned black Mormons couldn't become priests until 1978, when their prophet had an unprecedented revelation that the time had come to allow it, after which black people thanked him for his many hours begging God to permit it. Today I learned your body has a protein called P that determines when your body wakes up, and is a reason why you may wake up X amount of hours before your alarm, to prepare your body for the stress that the alarm causes you. Today I learned Charles Manson completed 150 hours of Scientology auditing before declaring the religion too crazy. Today I learned Abraham Lincoln had an incredibly high-pitched voice that was described as shrill, sharp, and unpleasant. Today I learned of the Benjamin Franklin effect that causes people to like someone more after doing them a favor. When Franklin asked his rival for a rare book and returned it with a note of thanks, Franklin's rival spoke to him with great civility and offered help, leading the two men to become good friends. Today I learned the Bee Gees were going to lip sync to a record in the local Gaumont cinema, but as they were running to the theater, the fragile shellac 78 RPM record broke. The brothers had to sing live and received such a positive response from the audience that they decided to pursue a singing career. Today I learned that the BBC paid Pink Floyd to jam out in the background live as the Apollo astronauts landed in 1969. Today I learned in 1976 a woman sued Disney for $150,000 in damages, claiming one of the three little pigs fondled her at It's a Small World, and that she gained 50 pounds, 23 kilograms, as a result. The case was dropped when the costume was found to have inoperable stub arms, making said fondling impossible. Today I learned that in 2008, and at the age of 45, Flea, bass player of the multi-platinum rock band Red Hot Chili Peppers, enrolled as a freshman at University of Southern California's music program to learn the academic side of music. Today I learned guard geese have been used in place of guard dogs because they have excellent eyesight, are watchful and inquisitive, and have with strong territorial instincts. Today I learned of a kid who spent 9 years building an incredibly detailed model of a Boeing jet from paper. Today I learned about Horace D. Cole, an eccentric prankster who once gave out tickets to a theatrical performance to bald people so that when the light shone on their heads it would spell out bollocks. Today I learned Stu, the it guy from What We Do in the Shadows, is in fact an it guy named Stu in real life. He thought he was on set to help with it related tasks and had no idea how big his part in the movie was until filming was almost wrapped. Today I learned US Radium employed women to paint dials of watches with radioactive radium paint. The women were instructed to point their brushes on their lips. This led to many of the workers losing their jaws and even deaths. Company paid examiners covered it up and claimed they had syphilis. Today I learned that in the early days of radio, advertisers were hesitant to invest in radio ads because they feared an ad where you couldn't just turn the page if you didn't like it, as you could in print, would come off as pushy and invasive. Today I learned that if you put a disc from a Sega Saturn into a normal CD player, a creepy message warning you to remove it would play. The CD players would play the game data as music and blow out speakers if the disc wasn't removed. Today I learned about Sesu Hayakawa, a Japanese-born actor who became a major Hollywood star in the early silent film period of the 1910s, and noted for his status as a sex symbol, with his most rabid fan base being white women. Today I learned of Sikada Benhabrit, the rector of the Great Mosque of Paris who helped over 500 Jews disguise themselves as Muslims by making the administrative staff grant them certificates of Muslim identity, which allowed them to avoid arrest and deportation. Today I learned the Spanish flu got its name during WWI. No one fighting in the war wanted to admit that thousands of their troops were dying to some fast-spreading disease. However, Spain was neutral, so they reported on it, making people think they were the source. Today I learned the innate way to teach kids to control their anger by using story to discipline and not acting out. Today I learned that when some Hawaiians stole a cutter vessel from James Cook, he kidnapped one of their chiefs, expecting them to submit like the many other tribes he had encountered. The Hawaiians proceeded to kill Cook and 4 of his men. Today I learned the famous composer Johann Sebastian Bach had no less than 20 children. Today I learned there is something called sovereign immunity, preventing Queen Elizabeth from law prosecution. In theory, she could get away with murder. Today I learned that a dog named Seamus was once a member of Pink Floyd. Today I learned that drinking beer reduces the chance of kidney stones among beverages the most, by 41%, while sugary colas increase the risk of kidney stones by 23%. Today I learned Shanghai was one of the few places that didn't require an entry visa in the years before WWII, so thousands of Jews fleeing Germany went there. Because German authorities required a visa to leave, Ho Fengshan, the consul general in Austria, made fake visas over his superior's objections. Today I learned that Leslie David Baker, who played Stanley Hudson on The Office, was a teacher for special needs children before he was an actor. Today I learned that the medieval torture device known as the Iron Maiden was actually made up in the 19th century to show the dark spirit of the Middle Ages in contrast to the progress of humanity. Today I learned that all photos of the selection process at Auschwitz-Birkenau were found in a single photo album that narrowly escaped the war and used as evidence of crimes in the Frankfurt Auschwitz trials. It was given to the Holocaust Museum in Israel by Yad Vashem and shared with the world. Today I learned Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas went 10 years, 2006 to 2016, without asking a single question while hearing cases. Today I learned that Franz Liszt's concerts created such a frenzy that it was called Lisztomania. People would throw their gloves and underwear at him and fight to get broken piano strings from his concerts to make them into jewelry. Today I learned when a poacher snare killed one of their own, two young guerrillas teamed up to find and dismantle traps in their Rwandan forest home. They saw what they had to do, they did it, then moved to dismantle next trap. Today I learned that to apply to become a Communist Party member in China, you need to write periodic thought reports for 2 years, detailing your opinions on society and about your personal life. Additionally, you have to attend classes once a week for 3 months and pass a final exam. Today I learned John Quincy Adams would go skinny dipping in the Potomac River every morning. And Roy Hall, the first female journalist to ever score an interview with a president, discovered Adams skinny dipping one morning and hid his clothing until he agreed to talk to her. Today I learned of Benjamin Lay, a radical abolitionist Quaker from 19th CPA. He lived in a cave, ate only vegetables and fruit, and threatened slave-owning Quakers with God's wrath. Also, he was a hunchback dwarf. Today I learned Bruce Lee's debut film appearance was as a baby girl in a film by an openly lesbian Chinese director in 1941. Today I learned that a 1972 best-selling thriller detailed a working method for obtaining a fraudulent UK passport by using the name of a dead baby. It took 35 years for the government to close the Day of the Jackal loophole. Today I learned lemmings don't actually commit suicide. It was a notion perpetuated by the Disney documentary White Wilderness, in which they herded lemmings into water off a cliff. Today I learned Michael Jordan signed his endorsement deal with Nike because Adidas thought he was too short. Today I learned while filming some came running in the small town of Madison, Indiana, 1958, Sinatra was besieged by local women, and at one point a woman broke through a rope barrier and flung herself at Sinatra as her husband ran to stop her, pleading, "Helen, you don't even know the man." Today I learned of Dr. Richard Batista, who sued his wife to get back the kidney he donated to her after she cheated on him. Today I learned that Killian, a black Labrador, saved a baby boy from an abusive babysitter by staying between the baby and the sitter and alerting the parents. Parents tried recording the scene, and the sitter was convicted. Today I learned that the Chinese government has an AI surveillance system that uses +20-meter cameras and facial recognition to track citizens' behavior and monitor criminals. They officially named it Skynet because of Terminator. Today I learned that of the 5,000 or so species of mammals on the planet, only female humans have permanent breasts. Today I learned the US Navy tried to remove a whale carcass with dynamite. A veteran with explosives training warned the amount of dynamite was far too much, advice that went unheeded. His brand new car, purchased during a get a whale of a deal promotion, was then flattened by a chunk of falling blubber. Today I learned that our strongest memories are usually widely inaccurate. It feels like memories of traumatic events burn themselves into our minds to remain there forever, but studies have shown that the stronger the emotional state you were in during that event, the more inaccurate the memory is. Today I learned Anthony Hopkins composed a waltz in 1964 that was only released years later. The famous actor was afraid that nobody would like it and therefore never got to hear it being played up until 2011 thanks to André Roux, a Dutch violinist who got sent the music sheets by Hopkins' wife. Today I learned about a 50,000 word book that has no words that contain the letter E. Today I learned the Honaswana card, the most expensive baseball card in the world, is so rare because it was sold by the American Tobacco Company. Wana was a non-smoker and he threatened to seek legal action against ATC, so they stopped producing it.